All right, so while I'm here and talking about, just got done discussing ways of fixing police brutality issues, and that's stuff. That's five rules that will. I mean, I guarantee, I'll give my life to prove it. You know, really, it's guaranteed. Everything changes. It's the economy that fucking keeps fucking us up. Is because we have corporations that are designed and developed to only continuously, forever, ad infinitum, have their bottom line grow. And it gets to the point where abuse of countries worldwide has just gone so far beyond that there's no place left to fucking exploit in ways that keep them able to expand. And so they look for all kinds of trickery and back ways of, you know, screwing over another company or another government or whatever, getting the resources by having your private army take over this whatever South American country or whatever the fuck, man. It's just nuts. So anyway, I'm here to tell you about the concept of fully automated luxury capitalism. So I think the idea of earning something and being able to use the equivalent of the energy and expertise that you output to create or do or whatever, that's something that you should get some kind of currency that you can use, so that it's not always direct bartering, because direct bartering, that will stimulate having complicated machinery. And that's, I think, a very important part of where we're at, and it's not something we should throw away, because that's the fully automated part. And let me tell you, so fully automated means that most jobs in all of society are done by robots. Anything that can be. Right now, we're trying to not do that because we want to keep jobs, right? Okay, well, in this new system, we don't need the jobs. We don't need them. We get everything that we can possibly get done by robots. Safe robots that don't have AI, that continuously grow and become fucking, you know, automaton Cylons that want to take over the world and kill all the humans. And the Dominator. You know, I mean, that's silly, man. AI is not really like that unless you really try to do that, and even that, not yet. I mean, maybe in 20 years they'll be able to do some shit like that, but like, you know, you have to be pretty fucking malicious to go there, and that's not what I can talk about. So I don't think that, and the solution is not to stymie all of our ability of creating more complicated machines. I think that's not the way, because it's going to happen somehow. Anyway, we're there. Get over it. It's like the music industry. It's over. Get over it. Like, find other ways to make our money and still put out our music and our art and our hearts and make it, you know, connect. But like, you know, buying records, that shit's done, man. It's not coming back, man. There's nobody that's all of a sudden deciding to buy CDs. A great idea. You know, there's some novelty to printing vinyl or printing cassettes, but it's just a novelty, man. It's like getting any type of merchandise at a concert. It's like, oh, I showed that I was there. I was cool. Like when you get a t-shirt to that Barry Manilow concert. Whatever, you know, like, you know, I have one from John McLaughlin that I will wear sometimes and go like, yeah, man, I was there. I was there the night that Kevin Scott played with those guys, man. That shit was badass. But anyway, all right. So, great grapes, man. Fully automated luxury capitalism. Fully automated means that most of the jobs that can be are done by robots. Okay, some of our jobs will still exist, and the things that really suck will have to get paid a whole fuck lot more, man. Because here's the second part: every single human being on the planet, every single one, from the tiniest baby to the oldest grandpa, everybody gets a check worth like $38,000 a year, something, you know, like a decent minimum wage availability to like just live your basic shit, you know, that has to be used every month. You can't save it, you can't trade it, you can't do anything other than pay for the things that you need in basics in life. So, you know, and there'll be probably, I don't know, there'll be special stores for it, or just have certain items that are part of that and others that aren't. But basically, the basics in life: food, clothing, shelter, medical, education. Now, I think that needs to be different. I think education is basically programming, and we need to have different ways of approaching that but I can't discuss that right now because that's beyond me. But let's leave education out of it. So we'll talk about, the other parts. So all the rest to stay alive and be comfortable in a general sense. Get a roof over your head. You got electricity, high-speed internet. You got refrigerators and whatever, basic shit, man. Everybody gets it. Every human. If you got a family of 12, you get times 12. Okay? If a child is under 18, the parent is discretionary, gets to spend it, whatever. But you can't spend it on fancy shit. You can't buy fancy cars or fancy jewelry or any jewelry or anything fancy or upgraded at all. All of that goes into the other currency, which is the currency that is just the same as ever. You could use $1 for that matter. Well, it needs to stop it or start again. But whatever it's called. Call it the Alps. You can use the Alps, the golden Alps, man. Yeah. Anyway, you can use this other currency to buy anything. You can't use it to do the basics though. But even a millionaire's got to spend that. I mean, even a multi-trillionaire, whatever's got to spend that basic currency shit on their living each month. Always. There's no other option. All right. Everybody can't, like I said, you can't buy it, can't trade it. Only to spend on those things. All right. I know everybody's going like, yeah, but where does that money come? I'm not paying for everybody else. Okay, listen. Forget that shit, man. It's not about I give so somebody else gets. It has nothing to do with that. You get, they get, everybody gets. We have plenty of resources in this world to be able to do this. All it needs is a very smart team of economists and empaths to get together and figure out how to best put it together. That's it. But, alright. So, now that may lead to ID tagging and weird shit, so I don't know, man. There may be some weird shit with that. Okay, but anyway, now the rest of it is the jobs that will, some will just keep jobs, because they need human influence on a lot of things. A lot of decision making that involve, subtle influences of emotion or, anything that a lot of shit will remain. Now, you say, well, who's gonna be the garbage dude, or who's gonna work in the sewage plant or whatever? Well, mostly robots, and the ones that won't are gonna get paid like a mop. That means that they should be, think about it. The guy that spends his life working in the sewage treatment plant and deals with your shit every single day of his life, that guy deserves a fucking resort retirement in the Cayman Islands, the same as any fucking lawyer. All right? So there's that. So some jobs will pay a lot more. The ones that are the real dirty jobs, and the ones that are very specific jobs, like you need somebody with this specific interest to do this specific job. Okay. A lot of people who have families, they will find jobs and they will find ways of income. There's going to be lots of different ways to make income in this way, because I'll explain it in a minute. But anyway, they will continue to want to have those things that you can get with the luxury currency, with the Alps, the golden Alps. So with that being said, most people will continue in a profession of some kind and continue the basic lifestyle that we have today. But it will not be that two parents must both work full-time jobs in order to even pay for the fucking rent anymore. That's not going to be the case. So any job that anybody does will be because they want to, not because they're forced to because of fear of becoming ostracized from society and being cast aside as being a shit. Look at that homeless person, man. They're fucking scum. I bet they lick the ground. I've met some and they're like everybody else. Just maybe some of them have some mental issues, some diseases, and some of them have just like a crazy ass story, and it's just whatever, man. Anyway, so here's the thing. So like I think most people, probably 65% of the people will continue on and do their thing as per the usual. All right. So now some people will just say, great, fuck off, I'm gonna go live in the woods and just eat my butthole, and that's great. They can do that. That's everybody's right. Every human on earth has the right to just do absolutely nothing if you want. What happens is after they do that for a couple of years, they're going to find something that makes them really excited, because that's how the thing works, okay? The problem is that, like, rewind before when I said, or maybe it's on the other tape, that every baby is born with two things, good and with the ability of genius, if they can find it. The problem is today, most everybody gets pushed into shitty jobs because all of a sudden they got some girl pregnant, or the girl got pregnant and the man left her. Whatever it is, everybody is like forced to scurry or even go through college. You got all this family pressure, like da da da, you gotta go da da da, and then you gotta and then you have to have a blah da da, and it's like, okay, so whatever the case is, it's a lot of negativity involved. This is a society built on fear, all right, and we can shift this to be a society built on love with just this concept, man. All right, so what I'm saying here is that, okay, so robots do most of the work. The jobs that remain, or jobs that are created to manage the robots or the networks or whatever it happens to be, those will be readily available. People can take them, but nobody needs a job, because third thing is everybody gets a guaranteed income of some amount. I'm going with 38,000 Alps chits a year. No, Alps is the luxury one. I don't know. Coltrane's. All right. So you get 38,000 Coltrane coins. All right. Every single human baby to grandpa, every person on the planet gets this. All right. You have to spend it. You can't save it. Can't trade it. And then anything of luxury, you got to use the other regular currency. And so we talked about that people would be split up into different groups. A lot of people will continue jobs and taking care of the family and having a secure life. A lot of people will split and just do absolutely nothing, but eventually they'll probably use something. And then a large percentage will just go and dig in and find that thing they really love, man. And that's when you find your genius. That's the thing, when you're willing to stay up all night, every night, just checking it out because it's awesome, not because you have to. Sometimes because you have to at first and you find it's awesome, but like, that's not the way it should. You should find it's awesome because it's awesome and you get into it. All right, and that's the thing. So by doing this, allowing everybody to spend whatever time and resource is needed in life to just get to find their thing that they really dig and spend the energy on it to become not only an expert but an innovator, the amount of inventions that's going to happen on this planet will be just incredibly astronomical. It'll be exponentially greater than we have today. And the capitalist guys who are all pissed off at me right now, saying like, well, how do my company, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, there it is. Inventions, man. There's going to be so many things to promote and build markets for, and, trade and rip people off and whatever, do what you do, man, but this will be only on things that are not the necessities of life. And because of the amount of inventions, you'll have more than you've ever had to work with. If you're a commodities broker in Chicago right now selling fucking fat bellies, don't worry. You're going to have lots of stuff to trade, man. Lots of stuff. Just got to repurpose it all. So there's two currencies that we'd have to start over with. I mean, it'd be like we get rid of all of the other currencies. And these would be, I guess, like the next gen Bitcoin kind of things, or I don't know exactly, but, I think that's the shit. And we get to that point, man, we're gonna be living like, in Star Trek, man, where nobody needs money, they just pursue life for the sake of the beauty of life. And, there's still pressures. I mean, some things have to be taught and they're difficult, so you have to be pushed to learn those things correctly, or at least enough so that you can find a way to innovate it yourself without reinventing the wheel. But it's very doable. All of this is. And all it is just that until now, we've been held in check by the royal family, basically, or families, but ultimately I'd say it's mostly Britain. What else are you gonna say? But there it is. Anyway, it's been fun. That's the end of the idea. If you haven't seen the other one talks about 5 ways that combined would absolutely get rid of police brutality, and I think that's also a good watch. So I don't know. They're just doing this just to share. No other reason. Peace.